Hey, Brad, you had said after the game yesterday that you didn't necessarily know about the transition defense being as good as the box score showed with 7 points allowed. Did you see anything different when you reviewed the game?
I'd say that's a tough day for the person keeping the box score. Yeah, it was a lot more than 7. You know, we had them down for almost 30 transition points, so we have to do a lot better than we did yesterday. You know, they do a great job of not only getting those run-out points, but then getting fouled in transition. The hesitation to drives, the head-down drives, a couple times where we lost shooters, a couple times where we didn't match the big trailing the play. You know, you just go down through the list. So that's how they do a great job scoring. I actually thought our effort off of our turnovers and some of our not great offensive possessions was really good. I thought we played really hard in that way. We had a real conscious effort to get back, but you still have to do that on every occasion against this team. They're very difficult to play against in transition.
Abby Chin.
Brad, I looked through my notes. Kemba seemed to tweak his knee in the first half. Is he okay? Will he have any restrictions going forward?
No, it was you know, I think he got when he got rolled up on in front of our bench by the basket, he felt it, but he didn't have any restrictions. He went through all of our 12-minute practice today, and then should be good to go tomorrow.
Question in person, Rebecca Harlow.
Yeah, Coach, you know, when Gordon went down, he brings so much to the game, but in particular, he's such a great passer.
Yeah.
Have you noticed a heightened sense of almost awareness or something along those lines? You have so many good players on the floor, but still, when you can rely on his passing ability, what does that do now?
Well, the pass is certainly king, you know, against teams that can really get up into you, that really help, that are active with their hands. You know, when we turned it over yesterday, a lot of it was when we had the ball too long. And we just got to make the right reads quickly. That's one of his strengths. But I think our team just in general has gotten better at that over the course of the whole year. This is a group that really plays with good intentions. And when we do miss it, it's not because we didn't miss it because of anything, but we just missed it. And so we looked at that today. We looked at the places where we could make, you know, maybe quicker decisions. And but that's easier said than done because this team, Toronto, the way they help and the way they recover is so difficult. They're so active. They get hands on balls. They're just really hard to play against, and it's a lot of credit to them. So it's easy for me to look at the film and pause it and say, this is what we should do. But it's hard to play that with a clear mind as you're playing a fast-paced game. So give our guys a lot of credit, played with great purpose. We do have to clean some of that stuff up.
Question in person, Chris Mannix.
You played Jalen and Jason as a front court together in years past, but after losing Al and Aaron, did you have any concerns coming this year about how they would physically hold up, you know, playing kind of bigger a little, like having to play bigger a little bit more?
We don't really call them front court, right? We just say we got ball handlers, wings, and just rollers, basically. So we've got 3 positions. We got to find 5 guys to put on the floor. That's what we've always tried to do. And, you know, I think as the league's gotten more versatile to guard the 3-point line all over the place, you probably have less 4s that post up. That's not the case in this series. And Siakam hurt us in the post yesterday. So we got to do the best we can. But, you know, we think that our best bet of being the best version of ourselves is to be very versatile defensively and to be able to spread the floor on offense. And so that's just kind of a decision as we looked at this year's team that we made. And we thought it gave us the best chance to be good against the best teams. And I think that's the way you have to look at your team and figure out what gives you the best opportunity to compete against the very best.
Question in person, Malika Andrews.
Brad, Georgetown Giant John Thompson died today. I'm wondering if you have any memories.
Former Celtic. Yeah.
Memories there or thoughts on his impact on sports.
Well, I mean, first of all, his impact is enormous on on basketball, on sports, on community. And, you know, I never knew him. I met him maybe on an occasion or two, but I know JT3 well. And our heartfelt condolences certainly go out to him and his family and Patrick and everybody at Georgetown now. And yeah, huge impact on sports. One of the, you know, I was a Hoosiers fan growing up, so I remember a lot of the games that I watched locally. But first national game that I really remember watching as a kid was Villanova-Georgetown. And that was a game that didn't obviously end well for Georgetown, but Georgetown was such a giant. And their coach was so impactful and had such a presence. And then when you learn about all the great things he did off the court, what he meant to the players that played there, what he meant to the school, to see him up there a couple times when we were practicing the last few years and to see him kind of sitting on that perch and, you know, walking over and nudging somebody like, that's Big John. Like, yeah, it was a big, big icon in basketball. Again, our condolences go out to him for sure and his family.
Tom Westerholm.
Hey, Brad, just to go back to Gordon briefly, it's been 2 weeks since he got injured. Have you heard from him, just how he's doing personally and just how the rehab is going?
Yeah, rehab seems to be going okay. Feels a little bit better. You know, still has pretty significant amount of, you know, I don't think his gait is perfect yet. Once his gait feels right, becomes perfect, he's probably on a, you know, quicker course to coming back. But I think he'll rejoin us in the bubble at some point soon, but he still will be some time away when he does do that.
Final question, John Corrales.
Brad, a year ago today, the FIBA World Cup of Basketball started, and when you factor in the training camp, 4 of your guys are about to go into their 13th month together in some form or other. Can you just speak to just how weird it is to be in this position and how that impacts an NBA team, because this is just not how it usually goes?
Yeah, it's an interesting observation. I was thinking about that, you know, myself, and not only the guys that played for the U.S., which there are a lot of them here, but also the guys that played for other countries that played in the World Cup. And then to have that 4 months in between us stopping and then resuming in July, you never really stopped, right? You were just kind of on call and trying to stay a week away from your best shape was the way that we always talked about it. You know, you're doing virtual workouts with your strength and conditioning coaches and everything else. And so you're not really ever getting away. And I think that's one of the reasons why we've tried to make this as enjoyable as we can. When we get out on the court together again, you know, try to play, like I said earlier, with great intentions, but don't expect perfection of each other. Just make sure that we're doing everything we can to have fun playing this game, because it has been a lot of months in a row. We've laughed with some of our rookies that they've now been rookies for over a year, from the time a lot of them came to Boston and started working out. So that sucks for them. But I guess, but eventually they'll become second-year players, I guess.